All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Southern Broadcast Gaming Network. I am Richard Hurst, and tonight we are with the NOMA Super Speedway Series, and we are going to go through and meet our top four, moving on into the championship round. That is going to be Mr. Robert Duvendak, Matthew Fritz, Kenneth Redinger and Sean Wilder. And we will bring in Mr. Sean Wilder first. He is going to be up three positions. He barely made that cutoff race. He is 25. He is sitting right at 25 points with the leader sitting at 67 points. So he's got a lot of making up to do. But we're going to go in and talk to him and see about maybe his winning strategy. Mr. Wilder, this is Richard up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey Richard, how you doing, bud?
I am doing all right, man. Listen, we wanted to do a little special session for the top four tonight, and meet some of y'all, um, and get to know a little bit about you. And it looks like you are sitting right there in fourth in points, so you just made it in to that round of four. And next week you're gonna have Talladega coming up for the championship. You're sitting right at 25 points. You're a little bit behind, but tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been racing on iRacing, and how you got started with the NOMA Super Speedway Series.
I have been racing online actually since 1998. Started drag racing on a game called Burnout Drag Racing back then, and started NASCAR racing around 2000. Ran a couple years with the DMP League with Dale Jr., Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, and all them guys. Got out of it for a little while in 2006 because I broke my neck. So I was out for about 10 years, and I come back to iRacing about 2016.
Nice, nice. Well, it looks like you've been doing pretty well. You got two wins, in the NOMA series. How did you meet up with these guys there? So far they've been a great group of guys. Inviting me in. Getting to know them. Been doing a lot of work for them. But how did you get started with them?
I was actually invited to run on the team with Chris Akers. Chris invited me. He is running our pit stall series, ran in the NSRA with him, and he must have been running with these guys a season or so. And so Chris invited me to come join the team with him.
Well, it definitely has some talent up there. Chris Akers, you beat Chris Akers, man. I know he's got to be he's got to be a little bit salty. He brings you in, and then you beat him for the top four. But still, I mean, you've got 14 starts. You got two wins. Five top fives and six top tens. Um, Man, and you're not sitting too far up there in incident points. But Candy Shack Motorsports, it's got to be happy to have you in their team.
Yeah, I hated that for Chris. Obviously, with him inviting me in, he and I's raced together for years. Chris is a great guy, great racer. He missed it by 1 point. We were trying to do everything we could to obviously get all the Candy Shack up in there as far as we could, but I lucked into the draw there on that last race when they wrecked on that last wreck is what got me in there. Actually, my other teammate, Russ Hancock, I had a damaged car, and he said, "I'm just going to stick with you," and he helped keep me in the pack all night long for about half the race or so. And so it's because of Russ that I was able to make the top four.
Well, definitely been a pleasure broadcasting y'all's races. Glad to be here. Glad to be able to watch y'all race. Especially at the Super Speedway Series. It's always a handful. It's always a handful and a bunch of fun to call. Three wide racing, a lot. You know how to hold a line. A lot of green flag laps, and it shows what kind of talent y'all have. And I appreciate you coming in and letting me interview y'all. I know y'all got a race about to start pretty soon, so I won't keep you too long because y'all got some practicing to do. But man, congratulations for being up in the top four. And we can't wait to see what you can do over at Talladega next week.
Yeah, I sure appreciate you coming in and help broadcasting for us, Richard. Like you said, this group is definitely a competitive group. I've run in quite a few different leagues, and they've got to be some of the best speedway racers out there, which that's what makes it so fun. you got to use strategy. You can't just be wide open all the time. Got to do teamwork and fuel stops and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure next week is going to be a heck of a race to watch. So looking forward to it and seeing if we can't bring home a championship for Candy Shack Motorsports here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'll let you get back down to your chat, and hopefully I can make it in the race on time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, that was going to be Sean Wilder. Next, we're going to have Kenneth Redinger. He is going to be sitting at third in points. He's not too far behind. He's only about 4 points, ahead of Sean Wilder. But him and Matthew Fritz, definitely worked their way up. Sitting second and third. So let's, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him up and see what he's got to say. Actually, I can go down there, but we'll bring him up. Mr. Redinger, this is Richard. In the booth, you got a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, sitting in third in points, third going into the round of 4 next week at Talladega, you got a little bit of work to do. That Robert Duvidak is sitting at about 67 points. What kind of strategy do you think you can pull to make sure that he doesn't win next week's race and win the championship?
Well, I think it's I'm not sure, but I have to check. I think it's winner take all, or whoever finished the higher position
Actually,
of that wall driver.
You are right. I wasn't even looking at that. I was looking at bonus points. My bad. It's been a long day.
No, but yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough beating him. Just gonna have to rely on my teammate to kind of help me out there, and 'cause it's kind of some of those guys out there have 3 or 4 teammates, so it's gonna be a little difficult to overcome that. So hopefully me and my teammate can get together and kind of overcome that. So.
Well, super speedway racing, you find out who your friends are, but you do have Justin Parham. He is going to be hopefully he will be able to make it, and like you said, grab an ally or two and maybe bribe somebody. Maybe hey, I'll give you $5. You push me to the win, something. But I've watched you each and every week, for the last couple of weeks, and y'all have put on a really good show. You've ran up front quite a bit. Looks like you got about 3 wins here, 14 starts, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and not a lot of incident points. So you're running very well. Robert Duvidak only has 1 more win than you.
Yep. I mean, that was most of the throughout the season that was the goal throughout the start and the midsection of the races was to try to stay out of trouble, stay in the back, and try to work your way up at the end. And that didn't always work, but it worked a couple times there. But through the season, I mean, I'm not like the greatest at the restrictor plate stuff. It seemed like when we got to like the New Atlanta, that was more of a intermediate style, and that's kind of running the truck stuff is similar to that. So once the tires go away, that seems to be more where I kind of shine a little bit. But when it comes to just the flat open like Talladega and Daytona, that's a little bit different. It's a kind of more of a crapshoot. So.
Well, definitely next week the tempers are going to probably be high, or the excitement or whatever. But there's probably going to be a little bit more aggressive driving. Are you going to be one of those a little bit more aggressive drivers to get yourself up to the front, run in front, or just hang out and let everybody wreck themselves out if it happens?
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm gonna be racing right from the start. Try to get the pole and stay up there and see what we can do.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds like a pretty good plan. How long have you been running with NOMA? I know you run in Truck Series, and I know you run over here.
This is the first season.
First season, and you're up there fighting for a championship, man. That's pretty good. That says a lot about you. We want to wish you luck. Going into next week, we'll probably talk to you again before the race starts next week. But good luck, man. I appreciate you talking with me. I know we have a race that's about to start in a couple minutes, so.
Yep.
And so good luck in tonight's race, and we will catch you in a little bit.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I was looking down at my telemetry.
All right, well, that was Kenneth Redinger. He runs in the Truck Series and he runs here in the Super Speedway Series, and he's sitting right there in third. So he has a chance to take home this championship if he can beat Robert Duvendak. Robert Duvendak has 4 wins, but somebody that's in between Kenneth Redinger and Robert Duvendak is going to be Matthew Fritz, and we're going to talk to him right now. He is sitting in our waiting room. He is a firefighter, so or a paramedic. Either way, a first responder, so we need to get him in the booth and get him out so he can go save lives. We appreciate everything he does. Mr. Matthew Fritz, this is Richard up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, sitting second in the playoffs, going into next week, you're going to be at Talladega Super Speedway. You were just there last week, and you did very well. You got yourself up to second. Now you're fighting for it all coming in next week. You got 14 starts. You got 3 wins. You got 7 top 5s and 10 top 10s. A lot of that's a very good track record. Coming into the championship round. What do you think you have for us coming into next week? You got a lot of teammates out there.
I do got a lot of teammates, and I think teammates are going to make a factor in the championship race. So I'm just going to go out there, have fun. I'm not very good at the Super Speedway, but this year's been I've been very lucky. So it's been nice.
Well, you may think that you haven't been very good, but actually your track record says otherwise. You're sitting second, going into the championship round of 4. So you can't say that. We know you're pretty good at what you do, and you have a lot of support, especially on the stream. You have the Manny Ray Mafia out there watching you each and every week, rooting for you and your teammates. That just shows how much faith that they have in you. And I won't keep you very long because I know you got some things that you got to do, and we appreciate what you do in your personal life, being a first responder.
Oh, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, the Manny Ray's Mafia. It's great running for Manny Ray's, the league sponsor. They do so much. Jay and Joey, they do a lot, and my teammates, and they've helped me out a lot this year. And maybe a better driver, and I get very anxious when I'm at the end of the races, but I feel a lot better now. But next Monday, I'm gonna go out there and have some fun and try to bring a championship home.
Well, the first thing that you said that I absolutely agree with: have fun with it, no matter where you finish at. As long as you're out there having fun, that's what makes these races the best to watch. Everybody out there having fun, and being a little bit of competitive, but and it's wonderful watching y'all in the broadcast booth. And I guess I'll let you go because I know you have things to go do. I know you only have a few minutes before you have to go to work, but man, I really appreciate everything you do. Love watching you each and every week. That 48 is very fast each and every week. Let's see if you can bring home a championship next week.
Well, I appreciate everything you do in broadcasting. You do a great job, and thank you very much for having me. It's pretty cool being an interview like this.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you next week, my friend. Good luck, and you stay safe out there.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is going to be Matthew Fritz. We're, great to have him in the booth. He is a first responder. Got to give him credit for everything that he does. He's out there saving lives. So hats off to him. All right, now it's time for the Robert Duvendak. He is sitting number 1 in the points, even though all the points are pretty much evenly throughout the board. But Shooter McGavin Motorsports might have a little bit of a challenge on their hands here tonight. And let's go bring him up to the booth.
Hey.
Oh, well, I kind of interrupted your conversation there, Mr. Duvendak, but this is Richard up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Well, you're sitting up in the number 1 spot for a reason. You got 4 wins. You got 8 top 5s and 10 top 10s. That's Shooter McGavin Motorsports. They have been doing great things out there on the track, but next week is the last week. You got 4 other drivers that you have to beat, and they have teammates right along with pretty much about the same amount that you do. Man, what can you and your team do to win this championship next week?
Well, I tell you what, I have no idea. it's just all going to come down to avoiding the madness during the race, being there at the end, and making the right moves when the lanes move. And honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at this season if it wasn't for my teammates and the help of my unofficial teammate Chris Akers. He's pushed me to a lot of wins this year. So we're just gonna go out there. I'm gonna do the strategy I usually do every championship race. If I'm being honest, I'm just gonna kind of ride at the back and wait it out, and then go to the front towards the end.
Well, you know, it being. Oh my goodness, I got people talking to me from the lobby. But it being the last race of the season, do you think people are going to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe to get their first win, maybe to upset one of the playoff drivers? What do you think?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you always got the guys out there who aren't in the playoffs, and their main and only goal is to go out there and play the underdog, be the upsetter there, and try to win the race. But I just hope last week's race was a little messy, so I'm hoping next week we all kind of learn from this past week, and we all race a little bit more respectful and cleaner, and maybe we'll have a much quicker, cleaner, faster race. And I don't know. It's just going to be one of those races where I'm just going to kind of play the race as it comes to me and play it as it lies and see what happens.
Well, that 99 truck and that 99 car has been pretty fast in both series. And, you know, I've raced with you a little bit over in the truck series, and I missed a few races due to having to broadcast. But man, you have been doing great each and every week, even in both series. You know, it's fun to race with you, and it's fun to watch you and call the moves that you make out there on the track. But you know, you got a little bit of competition out there next week, so we wish you luck. You know, you and Chris Akers. You know, I've seen y'all pretty much nose to tail each and every week. Like you said, the unofficial teammate. But it's been a pleasure watching y'all. The talent that y'all have is just phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's this super speedway style really fits my driving style, and going over to the truck series. Truck's always been my favorite car, and I've always seemed to do really good in the trucks no matter where they race. So it's been a fun season in both of the series here, and looking forward to closing this one out strong next week. And unfortunately, I'm going to miss the truck race this weekend. I'm going camping with the kids and the wife, so I pulled myself out of that championship hunt to give someone else a shot. So I still looking forward to showing up for the last few races of that season and showing up strong with that too.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and good luck going into the championship next week. Have fun on your camping trip. Stay safe out there. Don't get eaten by a bear or anything like that. But you have a good one. And actually, I think I'll see you in this race if I can get loaded in time.
All right, sounds good. You have a great night.
You too. All right, well, that's going to conclude our top four broadcasts. That they are going to be fighting for that championship next week. So definitely tune in to that. That is going to be at Talladega Super Speedway. That is going to be the National Online Motorsports Association Super Speedway Series, broadcasted by us, Southern Broadcast Gaming Network. But we appreciate everybody that tuned in for those little interviews. You know, had to do them kind of quick, so Matthew Fritz can get to his profession of saving lives and, you know, being the first responder. But appreciate everybody that stopped by. We will catch y'all next time. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy belated Mother's Day to the mothers out there, and we will catch y'all later. God bless.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. 75 laps. Fast and tires.